Coming up today on Morning Edition, we're talking buns and guns, pistols and Pilates. We'll explain that coming up. Also, dining without kids. Leave them kids at home, or should you bring them with you? Jason's already got an opinion.
See ya.
And the great glasses debate. Do you need them? Are you just wearing them for fashion? Do people with prescription glasses feel some type of way about it? We're going to talk about it today on Morning Edition. With that, welcome in Julian Sador, Annie Satowski, Jason Harper, Ted Phaeton in here for another round of discussion. And we're starting, guys, with pistols and Pilates. We talked about this on the show. It's a way to get women into using firearms and firearm training for people that maybe they don't feel comfortable doing this. So this is, I forget what city this is out of.
This is just outside of Chicago.
Chicago. Okay. How do we feel about pistols and Pilates, or as Jason calls it today on the show, buns and guns?
One of our directors.
Glocks and blocks.
Blocks and Glocks. The other one was Guns and Poses.
I like that.
That's good. That's close.
That was a good one. That was from our director, Evan.
Yeah.
But no, this is a good idea. So they do a core workout, a Pilates workout, then they go and they get safety training. Obviously, you could see they're learning all the parts of the weapon, and then also, obviously, at the firing range there. I think it's a good idea. Wherever you fall on this isn't like a political thing, right? How you feel about guns, right? This is about fitness. And if you are interested in learning more about them, or if you are interested in legal gun ownership, then you should be educated about all things about it, right? That's from how it works and the safety aspect of it and how to fire properly. So I think it's a good idea. It makes it more approachable, right? In a setting where maybe women specifically might feel a little bit timid about that. Or just that they don't even know where to start. So mixing that in with something that they might already be familiar with all other women, which is this is exclusively for, it just makes it easier and it makes it accessible. So I think it's a good idea. Anytime you can mix fitness with a different element, I think is cool.
Okay.
I have two comments. The first one is going to be, I think you're right, Annie. If maybe you're wanting to have a permit or have one in your home, a firearm, and you want to take this class, great, go for it. Even if you have no desire to ever own a firearm. Unfortunately, we live in a world where you could be somewhere in public, and I'm not saying that you run up and disarm someone that may be threatening someone else, but let's say you are on the scene at a Target, and someone is in some kind of confrontation, and a gun falls to the floor, and you're trying to get it away. You know, what are your options? What do you do? If you're intimidated and fearful of it, you wouldn't know what the heck to do, right? Maybe you kick it away. Maybe that is the safest option. But if you were able to pick it up and know where the safety is, or know at least where to hold it, like even those things, to me, the more armed you can be, I don't mean with a weapon, but just with your knowledge, and with your senses, the better civilian I think you can be, right? So that's number one. Number two is, I started thinking about this as I'm looking at this video. Our body, what we do with our fitness, our health, is like a weapon. I want to be a bad beep. You know what I'm saying? I'm not putting in the effort like I should. In my head, I want to be that, right? But if I want to be a serious, a weapon in the world, whatever that is, with my mind, with my speech, with whatever my actions are, I need to know my instrument. I need to know my equipment. You know what I'm saying? All of it, though. All of it. Mental, physical, financial, spiritual, all the things that make me up as a secret, deadly weapon. I want to be the best I can be. And so it's the same with so that's not just the Pilates part of it. That's the firearms. I think it's brilliant.
I do too.
I like it.
Absolutely. No, it's fantastic. And you're hitting on the reasons for why I work out hard, which it used to be 2, now 3. Yeah. Number 1 was look good naked. Number 2 was be hard to kill.
I knew it was going.
Right.
It was going there.
Now number 3 is to intimidate my future daughter's spouses. Right.
There you go.
But the other thing I think about with this is doing something that you don't usually do, right? So let's say that you have a group of girls, they do Pilates together, it's great, but there's a certain bonding that happens when you do a new skill or you approach something new that you're not used to it. And it sounds a little oxymoronic. You're like, okay, Pilates and pistols, we're going to mix this together. The pistol aspect about it might not be something that these women have had experience with. So it's a new skill. It's something that they get to learn together, and they see each other in a little bit of that vulnerable light of like, oh, this is something you don't know what you're doing around this. Let's teach each other. And they have more of that bonding experience. I was looking it up, and it talks, it adds the other stuff. Matcha, fitness, and firearms. What about the matcha? We got to have a matcha afterwards. You see them cracking some drinks.
Yeah.
Probably talking about the experience of like, hey, this felt a little awkward. We do it a couple more times. you build that skill, you get more competence with it, and you have another area in life where you're bonding.
You know, I'm not trying to trigger Ted.
I see what you
Pun
did there
intended.
with the trigger. Nice.
exactly.
Yep. Yeah.
Because Ted has a feeling about Planet Fitness, but we're not going to dive into that. But the reason why I bring it up is because a lot of people sometimes feel intimidated going to a gym.
Yeah.
If they've never been to a gym before and you go to a local YMCA or whatever Crunch Fitness and you see a lot of macho people working out and they all know what they're doing, you may feel kind of foolish walking in there and trying to work out on your own. If nobody's ever been out shooting before, to firing range can be really intimidating to a lot of people because you have people who are gun owners there. Now you can rent and fire with weapons that you rent, but if you don't know what you're doing there, you may not ever want to go. And so I love this because it's lowering the barrier of entry, right? It's making it more accessible to people in an area that they're going to feel comfortable going out and learning how to operate a firearm. And to Jason's point, yeah, I think more knowledge helps everybody. Like Andy said, not being political or anything like that. But if you have any interest in being a legal gun owner, maybe your spouse is a gun owner. And this is a great way to go in there in a place where there's no pressure, you're having fun. And Savannah Ridicel, one of the Queen City News anchors, brought this up at 4 a.m. Also, Pilates, depending on what you're firing, you have to also get ready for the recoil. And so
Yeah. You
Pilates
have
is
to
a
have
great
good
way
core
to
strength.
engage your core.
Yeah.
And it's something that you're going to immediately use from Pilates into firing. So, yeah, I think we're all on board. This is great.
I like it. And the other part that you mentioned of being intimidated, I don't know of any events like this in our area right now. Of course, there's, classes you can take, but again, that takes the drive to do it and kind of like taking that leap if you're afraid and you don't know anything about it. But if you do go into a firing range, right, I have found that the people there, or anywhere that you really go, whether that's golf or just trying a new sport, if you talk to the people who work there, they are passionate about what they do. And so they want to educate and they want to expand interest in whatever it is you're doing. So if you just go in there and I don't know, as I've gotten older, I'm just not afraid to admit that I don't know things or I don't want to pretend like I know exactly what I'm doing. And if I'm just like, hi, I'm new here, I'm interested, I don't understand what's going on, can you help me? They will 100% do it, and they are so cool.
But to your point with the intimidation factor too, Annie, because you mentioned golf courses and in a firing, like, just to be blunt, like, those are male-dominated areas.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
A woman might feel a little hesitant, a little intimidated to just go there. So having that space, right, like Pilates and pistols and Pilates, no men allowed, that's a better introduction for a woman who wants to try it out. And she might be a dog at Pilates, but wants to try out the pistol thing, which I will say, I've done the pistol, I've done the Pilates. The Pilates is way harder.
It's so hard.
Way harder.
100%.
But that will help. To your point with shoulder strength and core and bracing for all of that, I think it's cool.
Harper's got thoughts.
No, I do. I'm sitting here thinking that, the older I get, there's a lot of things that I thought I would know how to do by the time I'm 50. And there's a lot of men that don't feel super masculine because they don't know how to do certain skills that you kind of just think as a guy you should know, whether it's woodworking, fishing, firearms. I'm just saying, there's a lot.
Change a tire.
Like
your oil.
Yeah, I know, for real. And being around other men my age, they feel uncomfortable and intimidated because they feel like they should know a certain amount of guy skills by the time they get to a certain age. And so then you feel, I don't want to say you don't feel threatened by other men, but you feel a little intimidated because you're like, I don't know how to shoot a weapon. I'm 50. I've never shot a weapon. I have. I'm just saying, I've got friends that don't. And so they don't ever want to go to a firing range. I've got friends that don't ever want to go fishing. They don't ever want to step into the garage because they feel uncomfortable around areas that they're not skilled in.
Interesting.
Not every
So many
guy
people
knows
never
how
want to
do-
go golfing because they're like, I'm too embarrassed because I
That's
think I
it.
should. Yeah.
It is
So
embarrassing.
I think someone around here, because we live in a part of the country where
Right.
a lot of people have weapons, and not everyone knows how to use it. And I think it's great for women to be able to do this. I think there should be something for guys that where it's a comfortable setting where you can go and learn to do firearms or learn to do some things
Yeah.
and that it's okay. You don't know how to do it all.
Pistols and push-ups.
pistols and push-ups.
We'll work
Okay,
on the
so
time.
maybe
We'll work
you
on
do
it. We'll
like a
work on it.
kickboxing
I
workout.
like golf and guns.
Golf and guns.
Golf and guns.
There you
Yeah,
go.
two different kinds of ranges.
Exactly. There we go.
That's it.
And your accuracy is going to be terrible at both of them when you start.
Exactly.
There you go.
That's okay.
I like that. But think about it. Ted, you've talked about this. I mean, think of it like if you're a handyman or a handy woman and you got a tool belt, the more tools you have around that belt,
Yeah.
the more successful, the better of a performer and a fixer and a contributor to our society that you are. And so if you're only good with a hammer and screwdriver, that's great. But the more weapons, the more tools you can put in there and be comfortable with, whether it's any of the things we just talked about, I think that makes you that's a great, well-rounded person.
Just to
There
put
we
the
go.
icing on the cake you just baked, Jason, I have fallen in love with being a novice. And I want anyone who's watching, listening to just get excited about learning something new because there's always a point. Maybe it's 15 hours in, 20 hours in of a new practice. That might sound intimidating, but that's like you could do that 1 hour a day for a month, and that's 20 hours.
Yeah.
There's a point where it clicks.
Yeah.
Now, you're not an expert, but you're competent and you learn what you're doing around it. That moment is exciting. So whenever you try something new, if you could just search for those first 20 hours to get to that click,
Yeah.
you'd be surprised how much you could pick up.
Yeah, that's usually my hamstring.
That-
That's what the click is. I'm like, oh, I pulled something. But do it. But I like what you're saying. Stretch yourself.
Yeah.
Stretch
By
yourself.
the way,
There you go.
when Jason said, I have shot a gun, all I can do is like, just, I'm a real man. Just so you know it. I have shot a
Now, I know people who have-
40.
All right, we got more
Oh,
morning
man.
edition coming up after this. Don't go anywhere. We're still talking about the great glasses debate and should kids be left at home when you go out to eat? We'll be
Bye-bye.
right back.
Welcome back to Morning Edition. All of us love to eat. Love our families.
Yeah.
We like to go out to eat.
Mm-hmm.
But so
Preach.
everyone does, whether that's like your family restaurant or you like to go fancy schmancy. But there's a new poll out of about 1,000 U.S. adults, and 75% actually led by parents saying we want adult-only options, whether that is a restaurant has adult-only seating, whether that's if it's a late night hours,
Yeah.
don't bring your kids, or if it's like a fancy romantic setting, also don't bring your kids. Jason's stretching out because he's got stuff to say.
Lord
So what do you
Jesus.
think about that?
Jason?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Listen, okay. And I think this could also be an age thing, right?
Okay.
Just because the older I get, it's so weird because you swear you're not going to be like your parents or your grandparents. But once you start to get into the next category of your life and your age and your maturity, you start going, I see why I see why I can't take as many kid sounds at restaurants anymore. I'm over it. You guys are young parents, right? And so it's like you want to be able to go out. Sometimes you feel like you can only go with your young kids. I get that. Or it's expensive to also get a babysitter. I get all those things. There are 417 restaurants where you can go with your family. Awesome. Go to Cracker Barrel. I don't care. Play checkers.
Right.
Play the tea game and see if you're an ignoramus. That's great. But when I'm going to a wine bar, I would like to be there with other people above the age of 21. And so when I'm sitting on a patio at a wine bar, I get it. It's not a bar. It's a restaurant. But there's just this expectation of, adults kind of winding down after a day at work. And when I'm on the patio and I'm sharing it with, a bunch of second graders out there after T-ball, the moms are not paying attention to their kids. It becomes like a daycare center, so the moms can sit there and chat and drink wine. It's frustrating, and I can see the women going, we can do whatever we want to do. It's a free country.
I was
Yes,
going to
it
say, I want to
is.
join them.
Yes, it is. I get that. But I think what I get frustrated at is because if there were no other options, all right, fine, right? I'll go inside where it's quiet. But I feel like we've become a society where we only are inside our own personal bubble. This is what I deserve. This is my family. I'm going to go out and do this and not ever taking into account, wow, look, there's a couple over there. Looks like they might be celebrating an anniversary. Or, hey, maybe we should be quiet. My kids have now crumbled up cornbread all over the ground. Someone's going to have to clean it up. This is not, you know what I'm saying? I don't feel like any of that happens.
Can you
when
do
we
that
go out.
impersonation again with the moms? What do they say? We can do whatever we want.
How did that go?
Yeah, the head goes.
That's pretty good.
No, I
like
think
that.
it's all about venue, right? Like there are places that I would never take my almost 2-year-old. Why? Because she's a tornado. She does really well out in restaurants, but I think it's about parental control. I think to Jason's point of like, if you're not paying attention to what your kids are doing, they're throwing a fit, they're climbing on top of the table, they're throwing food, they're just being a mess. Like, no, like if that were happening to us, it'd be like, hey, can we box this up? Like we're gonna go. Like this is just not working. I think that for a wine bar, like a closed-in situation, no, I would never bring her there because I want to relax too, and I don't want to chase her around this restaurant. But on the other hand, the world, you are all not entitled to a child-free world, right? It's the same argument of babies crying on an airplane. Trust me, the parents are way more upset than you are about this baby crying on the airplane. Do they want them to be quiet? Absolutely. A restaurant is a different story. You have to be in control of the situation. If you know that your toddler is a menace to society at a restaurant, sorry, like order in. That's my thing. I think though
go to Chuck E. Cheese or something.
Or maybe something that's more family friendly, and that's what they do. I don't know why you're taking your toddler to a really fancy restaurant. That being said, though, I feel like as an only child, I would go out to restaurants with my family. Some of them would be nicer. It's an age thing, but I didn't run around. I didn't do like cause all these shenanigans. So I wouldn't be totally against kids in a nicer restaurant. What if that is the most well-behaved 10-year-old you've ever seen?
Come on.
And she's properly ordering filet mignon and she would like it rare with steak frites, right?
I
Like,
see the kids act better than their parents sometimes.
yeah. So I think it's all about knowing your kid.
It is.
And there are some venues like a Michelin star restaurant. It's probably not for your toddler.
Yeah.
So I'm not for or against this. I think it's all about a case by case basis. But control your kids.
Okay, Ted is as the one remaining parent who hasn't commented on it. Go ahead, weigh in, brother.
So I would say, like, I mean, hey, parents, they're gonna do what they want to do, whether their kids are unruly or well behaved. They're gonna choose to take their kids to the restaurant or not. Adults who want to celebrate an anniversary, when you go to a restaurant, there is that risk. I do see the area that says adults only or child free dining. I think resorts have figured this out, right? Like the adult only section.
In the pool.
Exactly, the adult only pool. So I'm curious as to what a model looks like with a restaurant that has that. Because listen, if the restaurant has those high chairs,
it's called the bar.
Yeah,
It's called the bar.
That's true.
You gotta be 18 to sit in the
Like,
bar.
remember the smoking and non-smoking sections of the
Correct.
restaurant?
Yeah.
Correct.
Something like that.
Yeah,
So
it can be done. It can be done.
Exactly, right? I think there's a universe where you could serve both if you choose. And then it's also, I'm sure there's restaurants, I've been to restaurants where you could tell, like, they don't take kids. They don't have high chairs.
this ain't
they
it.
don't have those
Well, they
seats.
have like the
No
one high
kids
chair to be
menu.
compliant.
Just like, I gotta have this.
I'd have the one and it's
It's
on
just-
its last leg.
I feel like there's a lot of restaurants it's just kind of like that by the price point of the menu. Like there are some restaurants where people just don't take kids because they know. And if like if I were to go to the Crunkleton and I saw the kid, I'd be like, okay, like that's a bold choice by the parents if they want to pay for a kid to have a $45 entree.
Yeah, like,
More power to them.
my
But
daughter likes salmon. She's not like the chicken finger type.
Yeah.
I'm not
Same.
spending that at the Crunkleton.
right,
No.
Yeah. I mean, but also the time of day too, right? The Crunkleton has an amazing brunch.
Yeah.
right, okay.
So maybe do we think that's a little bit better to take your kid to? It's expensive,
sure,
but like price is
sure.
out of there. I mean, they have a good patio too. Dogs are allowed on the patio.
Yeah.
So if you have a child who's well behaved enough and they're going to sit nicely and eat their eggs Benedict, I don't see a problem
Very
with it.
Benny. All right, here. Do you guys think that it would help or hurt a business if they came out and said that we have, like, let's just say they're going to say Friday nights are no kid nights. You can't bring your. Do you think that would help or hurt business?
Based on the numbers, it would help.
You think so?
I mean, the survey says 75% of
Adults.
adults
Mhm.
want
And even
this.
parents. And that survey didn't really get into why parents are leading that, but maybe, I don't know.
And to your point, the
Jason,
numbers
you-
and the actions are different. But
Yeah.
Okay.
no,
What do
I
you
have,
think?
I have a perfect example. There is a local brewery
Okay.
Mhm.
in the town, founded after the Waxhaw Indians.
Okay.
It's called Waxhaw. This,
Spoiler.
I don't want you to have to Google it or hurt
Just figure out which one it was.
It's called Waxhaw. Okay, so there's a brewery there, and it has changed leadership over the last year. But over the last few years, Angie and I would go there quite a bit, and we became frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a restaurant; it is a brewery. They don't
Mhm.
serve food. You're allowed to bring food from neighboring restaurants. They
Oh, okay.
just serve beer and wine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but they've got the cool garage doors open, picnic type tables, or you can sit at the bar. A lot of different options, right?
Right.
Well, in the last couple of years, in the fall especially, I mean, when it feels so good, you got families coming in around 5 o'clock, staying for a long time. you would go as an adult, you're going to try to go to the restroom or go up to the bar to order a drink, and you're stepping over little kids with their choo-choo trains and Hot Wheels all across the floor, parents not paying attention. There's multiple families happening a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had a back part, okay, where they used to brew some of the beer, and they specifically made this, guys, an adult-only area.
Ooh.
Okay. It eventually
Okay.
turned into like a comedy night would be back there.
Uh-huh.
We set up a stage and all that kind of stuff. But there was a lot of discussion about, well, that's not fair.
Mhm.
And, well, is this going to hurt business? And these families are offended. They may not come back. But at the end of the day, it was, okay, they might. Let's save those 5 families or 10, right? Maybe 10 families don't come back. That's fine. But you had run off another 10 families who are actually spending money on beer and wine. They didn't want to be there. They don't want to be in a daycare.
Yeah.
And then you feel kind of strange in this adult-only area. It did work for a little while. I
And
think
then-
it's opened back up now
Mm.
because I don't. Sometimes so many companies are having trouble like staffing certain things. You know what I'm saying? Instead,
Yeah.
it just depends. I think to your point, Annie, it depends on the location. It depends on specifically what's happening, and maybe you can't close down for one whole night. It's only
Certain hours?
adults.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think maybe at certain hours, or I think you're right. I think a certain part of the restaurant. I say try it. All you can do is experiment,
And just see.
and then ask for feedback. Feedback
Right.
is very important.
Right.
I do think breweries are like the parents' watering hole, though. Like I expect to see kids at breweries.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think especially with like outdoor spaces, breweries are good too
Man,
because
yeah, I don't know.
maybe that's a little bit different.
That's-
But like
me
breweries
started.
that serve food, right? Like they'll
Yeah.
have like a turf, the one up by where we are, and kids can they have like an area for them to like run around, and that's
Okay.
cool. I also like it because you know like it's gonna be fast. You're not gonna have to have a reservation. You can go there just like in, out, on with your life. But again, I have like a toddler and I just want to like eat, get out.
Well, Andy, speaking real quick, we got to get out of this segment
I
because we
know,
still have one more to talk
We got
about.
one more.
Oh,
We're
And we're
almost
almost over morning edition. So we'll be back with morning edition on the other side of this break.
Welcome back to Morning Edition. I hope you guys have a good view of the television or on whatever app you're watching us on, because this is the Great Classes Debate.
Talk about it, Ted.
Oh man, come on, preach.
Talk
Now,
about
you
it,
guys
Ted.
might not know this about me,
But you can see.
You can't.
but I have
see.
20/20 vision, y'all. I can see.
Uh-huh.
These are both functional and fashionable. Blue light glasses, which I also happen to think I look good in. For
At
some,
least somebody does.
that triggers those who are, I guess, visually impaired. I don't mean this as a slight to anybody who's watching. If anything, it's in solidarity with the struggles that you guys go through
I
at
can't
home.
be in solidarity.
You didn't do this for
No
us.
idea.
Julian and Ted have debated this forever. Julian needs actual glasses
As
to
does
see,
Jason.
and so does Jason. I have 20/20 vision too. I'm like right in the middle. I've been mediating this for hours.
Put them on. Put them on.
I
know
have blue light glasses, and honestly, they really, really help. I was getting migraines from looking at like my 5 trillion screens a couple years
They
ago.
look good on you too,
God-
girl.
Thank you.
Because
I
Annie
like how
uses
I
them.
like how they look. Sometimes your eyes are just tired. I love using them when I'm working on a computer.
for a real reason.
Maybe it's
I
too
like
much
using
screen
them when it. Well, no, I'm at work. Like, what do you want me to do?
Mm-hmm.
I can't just turn off the
That's
screen.
true.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I wear them when I'm at work.
Uh-huh.
I
For
do.
a purpose.
I do not wear them outside of
Oh.
the station. I
You
don't.
wear them on air?
No, I've only worn them on air when I had like an eye thing where I didn't want to put on eye makeup, so I thought it helped like kind of hide the fact that my eyes looked really small.
Mm.
That's
Functional.
I've only worn them on air maybe a handful of times.
Mhm.
But no, I do not wear them outside, but I love my blue light glasses. I have 20/20 vision.
Yeah.
That's it. We don't have enough time for me. So go
Julian,
on.
why do you think
Huh.
Ted wears his, and why does it rub you the wrong way?
My thing is I think my beef with Ted is it's
Mm.
purely mostly a fashion thing for Ted.
Yep.
And Ted uses a guise of needing them for blue light. That is a guise for me. It is this whole
He likes to
entire
look first.
Likes to look
and then
first,
I'll
so
find
it-
a
it's
reason
a
to wear
charade.
them.
But I think you have it backwards.
No.
It's just,
No, I don't.
and that's one man's opinion.
And Annie, can I borrow yours real quick?
Yeah, they're
Here's
kinda-
why I
they're
have
kinda
beef with Ted,
dirty.
because we saw Ted was doing our hometowns, had his glasses on, was doing all this stuff. We go to commercial break. We're watching Ted on the monitor. He picks up his phone, which is blue light, takes off the blue light glasses to look at the blue light phone, puts the phone down, it's for the look. Just a minute. Just a minute, Ted.
It's for both.
Just
It's for both. But you took them off when you actually needed them.
Thank you, Jason.
I need them constantly.
Do you use them when you're driving,
For
like
what?
outside? Do you wear them in the car?
If I forget to take them off, I do. Which is why this all started, right? So I look at screens at home. I look at screens when I'm at work. In the example Julian's talking about, I'm looking at a computer, I'm looking at a return monitor, and then I pull up my phone, I took off my glasses.
But why did you take them off to look at your phone?
Because there was a glare when I looked up from the sun. So instead of changing the angle, I just removed
You want to know what it looks like
Because
to
I have
need-
that
you know what-
luxury.
You know what it looks like to need glasses? That right there. That is why you need contacts and glasses. You don't fit that
They
category.
don't fit that tag.
Fair enough.
He's saying you're using your vision privilege.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If the glare hits the lens and I don't want to adjust it, I'm going to just do that. That's my benefit.
You keep a handicap sticker in your car?
Yeah, come on.
I do not.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
I do not.
You use a handicap stall, don't you?
Let me ask
Do
you
you
this
think
though.
that
Let me
people
ask you
think
this
you
though.
need them?
We're,
Do you think they look good?
Julian won't say it. I think they
we're out
look
of time.
good.
Thanks for watching Morning Edition.
Appreciate you guys.
That's a yes.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.